Buenos dias, y'all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. But as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going down that rabbit hole again. That mysterious, lovely, stupendous rabbit hole known as the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, including N64 games. Because in a roundabout way, Nintendo has actually answered some of my questions as far as how often we'll be getting these things. And you know what? I don't like their roundabout answer. But before we get into that, I do want us to do a little bit of a follow-up to a previous video that I made on the Game Awards 2021. Now, obviously, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Game Awards. Usually there's some things that really interest me. This year, I don't know. There was just too much fluff. There was just not enough big announcements. The fact that Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony just sort of seemed to shy away from this event definitely did not help things, in my opinion. Well, a lot of people agreed with me. Some people disagreed with me, but I want to let you guys know I will put my money where my mouth is, because yesterday Jeff Keighley was actually hosting a Twitter Spaces. Now, I don't know what the hell Twitter Spaces is. I've actually never used it before, but Wood explained it to me, and he said, you know what? I dare you to go in there, and I dare you to request to speak to Jeff Keighley and tell him what you talk about in your videos. And I was like, okay, I mean, what do I have to lose? I'm obviously just on here to talk about video games and have fun. So I joined Jeff Keighley's Spaces event, and he actually chose to speak to me. He said, I haven't watched your video on the Game Awards yet. And I said, you know what, Jeff? You might want to skip that one. If you watch any video on my channel, you might want to skip that one. But around the 20-minute mark of his Spaces event, we had a really good conversation, about 7, 8, maybe 10 minutes long, just sort of me telling him what I felt about the Game Awards, areas that I feel like it could improve upon, and what I would like to see going forward in the future. Now, obviously, I was a bit more professional than I am here on my channel. I was on his Twitter Spaces. That's essentially like walking into somebody's home and then acting like you act like in your own home. When you're on your own home turf, things are a little bit different, so I'm going to be nice and respectful and try not to swear and shit on his thing. But I thought we had a really good conversation. I was able to get my points across. He understood them. He explained why and why not some things happen, and it was just overall a really good conversation. If you're interested in hearing that, I have no idea how to download it. I would have liked to have downloaded it and put it on the channel, but whatever. I will have a link to it in the comment section down below. It'll be in the pinned comment. Like I said, I joined around the 20-minute mark, and we had a really good conversation. If you want to see if there's any bite behind my bark when I talk about people, you will clearly see that, yes, I will say things like this, because at the end of the day, two people can view something in a different manner and still get along. It's not like it's all that serious. It's video games at the end of the day, a child's medium, or what it's supposed to be. Now we've just grown up with video games, so now we're all adults who play video games. But it was all good. It was a fun conversation. Make sure you guys go check that out. But let's get into the topic at hand. Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack featuring the N64. Now, I can't say all negative things about it, because recently, as in yesterday, we did get a new game added to it. Paper Mario came to the service. And you know what? Paper Mario is a good game on the N64. It's a bit easy, yes, don't get me wrong, but it's still a fun game. It's a fun experience, and it's a game that Nintendo can kind of throw it out there without really having to worry that much about emulation issues with that game. Because when you play the game on emulators, there's really never been any issues with it. It's a very simplistic game in its terms of art style. It's not really doing any sort of the 3D polygons that you saw with a lot of N64 games, the games that seem to have issues on the N64 Online expansion pack on the Switch. This seems like a surefire bet, and I haven't played the game yet myself, but most of the people that have been playing it have not said anything negative about it. But like, that's cool. You know, it's one game, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it's one game, because I feel like Nintendo doesn't tell us anything about this service. So it's like, what is my $50 going towards? What am I getting with my $50? Well, in a roundabout way, like I said, I feel like Nintendo has revealed the future of the N64 online service with the Nintendo Switch, and it sucks. It sucks. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be, except maybe potentially even worse. So the whole thing about the December thing was that there was mystery. Was it going to be more games added to it? Were we going to get NES, Super NES, and Genesis games also added alongside of Paper Mario? Well, the 10th has come and gone, and no, we didn't get anything else. It was just Paper Mario. So going forward in the future, I'm thinking, well, if Nintendo announces games for the N64 Online expansion pack, that doesn't mean we're going to get games from other systems. So am I just to assume that we're just going to get the one game? Well, yesterday, Nintendo announced what the next game on the list was, and it's Banjo-Kazooie. They went to Twitter and all their social medias talking about Banjo-Kazooie becoming sometime in the month of January. Now, once again, Banjo-Kazooie, a really good game. It was one of the best 3D collectathons on the N64. I remember when Banjo was a redneck in Diddy Kong Racing. I'm Banjo. Like, what happened to that? Why did Conker go from I'm Conker to like talking about poop and stuff like that? But it's a great game. You know, it's a really fun game. I don't like the fact that it's a mystery around the actual date of it because they just say January, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's a great game. But once again, now we're sort of seeing a template with this. Now we're sort of seeing how this N64 stuff is going to be rolled out. And it's going to be one game a month. And you know, inherently, that's not the worst thing in the world because like I said in my original video, the N64 library isn't really all that thick in terms of how many games you can add to the service because while there was like 300 or some odd games on the system, a lot of them were licensed titles, a lot of them were sports titles. So you have to look at the cream of the crop when it comes to the N64. And when you sort of, you know, skin away everything, there's probably like 40 to 50 really good games that would find a good home on the Nintendo Switch Online. So I get that. I'm not inherently upset that it's just going to be one game a month. The problem is it looks like it's just going to be that one game across all 4 systems because that's exactly what they did in the month of December. So you have to go by their track record. You have to go by their history of how they've been handling this. And so far, they gave us one game, Paper Mario. Nothing from the NES, nothing for the Super Nintendo, nothing for the Sega Genesis. And it's like, what? What? You have 4 systems, literally thousands of games to choose from, and you're giving people one game. Don't even keep in mind that if you don't have the expansion pack, you're getting nothing. You got nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. You're not getting any NES, any Super Nintendo games for that $20. They just completely abandoned you. The games that you have are the games that you get. Be happy, suck it up, and move on with your life. It doesn't matter if you've had the service since day one, and maybe you've played the games that you want to play. No, no, no. Doesn't matter. This is what you get. And now it looks like the expansion pack people are just getting one game a month. So you're paying $50 to play one N64 game a month, completely excluding the other systems getting new games added to it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is not how you need to handle this service. Like I say in every one of my videos on this, Nintendo literally has the largest classic library of any publisher out there right now. They have multitudes of systems to choose from: the NES, the Super NES, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the Virtual Boy, the DS, the Game Boy Pocket, if you want. It didn't really have its own thing. I thought I missed the Game Boy system as I was saying it back in my head, but I was thinking Game Boy Advance SP, but that did not have its own library of games. You get what I'm saying, though. There are a ton of games to choose from. There are a ton of third-party published titles to choose from in this as well that don't have things like licensing issues. And the fact that the people at the $20 level are getting completely snubbed, and the people at the $50 level are getting like a little breadcrumb, like a little, here's a little pizza crust for you. You know, you don't get the whole cheese and sauce. No, no, no. You get the crust. You get the crust, you son of a bitch. Like, that's ridiculous to me. That should be ridiculous to everyone. All because you have a service and people say, oh, well, it's better than nothing. Well, yeah, it is better than nothing. You got me there, Buster. Good job. You totally defeated my argument. My point is, when you're paying a premium price for something, you expect premium quality. You expect the best of the best. And when you look at Nintendo's lineage, like, how the hell is Xbox destroying Nintendo when it comes to lineage content, when it comes to previous games being able to be played on the system? Xbox is absolutely destroying it. Now you have PlayStation supposedly doing a service that's going to be similar to Game Pass for retro and classic games from the PlayStation 1 era forward, and even the PSP. And then you have Nintendo, the company with the most amount of games to choose from, the company with the most amount of money to get these games on here, the company that has had these games previously available for purchase on the virtual console, come along and piddle ass poop this service completely drop the ball on it. And it's just a shame. And the whole thing of it is if we look at it historically and we look at what Nintendo has been doing thus far, we have to assume that in January, that mysterious January date, because God forbid you put an actual date on that. I know there's probably a lot of internal discussion. Well, what day are we going to actually launch this game? Well, we don't want it to go up against other titles. We don't want it to go up against Pokemon Arceus. Let's just try to find a good day for it. No, they know exactly what day it's going up. They just don't want to say it. The lack of transparency is is what is killing this service for me. And I think it's doing that for a lot of people. You know, yes, maybe you get that initial rush of people who are interested in it, but when you're playing games on the Nintendo Switch Online service, these N64 games, and they're not quite running right, you know, maybe some people will notice. Obviously, it's a nostalgia-based thing. Maybe it's not intended to be for us, the people who grew up on Nintendo systems or on retro games in general. But those are the people that are going to be your most diehard people. Those are the people who are going to champion for your thing. Those are the people who want to play these games the most. And to leave them out in the cold and in the dust and not tell them anything and just sporadically put things on this service is an injustice to Nintendo's history. It's an injustice to retro games, and it's an injustice to preservation. Well, I'm Nintendo. Why do people pirate our games? I don't understand it. Because you don't let people buy stuff. You don't let people buy stuff, and you don't let people play stuff on your systems. Get with the times, accept this thing, and you know what? It probably would make the Switch even sell better. I know that's sort of outside the realm of possibility, but follow me on this. And this is how we're going to close this video. Imagine, if you will, Nintendo releases an NES or a Super NES or even an N64 themed Nintendo Switch Lite system that comes with like a 12 months of Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, and it has like a cool skin on it. Maybe 3 months. Let's say 3 months, because God forbid Nintendo give away a full year of that $50. Let's say 3 months of the Switch Online service, and then it has this custom graphic skin. You could even charge like $220 for it or something like that. Do you think people would be interested in that? Do you think that the system would be one of the hottest sellers whenever it came out? A portable system that will play NES, Super NES, N64, and Sega Genesis games that you don't have to worry about signing up for the service in a long-term thing. You could try it out and see if it's good for yourself. Plus, you have this customized system. Do you think that would sell well, guys? I think that would sell like gangbusters. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this. Do you think Nintendo is dropping the ball with this? Do you think Nintendo needs to get their shit together? Or have they just reached this high note? Have they just reached this peak where they don't really care? And they're going to do whatever they want because people will eat it up with the spoon. Like cereal. Apple Jacks. Honeycomb. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and share the video as well. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.